My name's Daniel, 35, living in a small Midwestern town, working as a senior IT consultant. From my early 20s, I became the guy everyone called when things went south, whether it was a broken-down car, a credit card bill that ballooned out of control, or when someone needed help with rent or groceries. I was there. I always was. My mom would call, her voice soft and sugary. "Danny, honey, your sister's having a rough time. She's behind on her mortgage again. If you could just help her out." It'd mean the world. And so, I'd send the money, even when it meant putting off my own plans. My dad, less subtle, would grumble about family sticking together whenever my brother's credit card debt got out of hand, and somehow the weight of sticking together always fell on me. Family gatherings were a circus of small talk and unspoken expectations. Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays. I'd show up with gifts for the nieces and nephews, groceries for my parents, maybe a new appliance they needed. They'd smile and say things like, "Oh, you're too good to us, Danny." But it wasn't gratitude, it was relief. Relief that they didn't have to figure things out themselves, and I felt needed. That was the hook, wasn't it? Being the reliable one, the problem solver, the rescuer. When my sister's husband lost his job and they were close to losing their house, I covered 3 months of their mortgage. When my brother wanted to start a business venture, I gave him a small loan that turned into a gift when it failed. I'd sit in my apartment at night, after the family dinners, staring at my own half-finished projects, my savings for a new home, my retirement fund, even a dream I had of going back to school for a master's, all pushed aside because someone always needed me more. It's not that I didn't love them. I did. But love, I'm realizing now, should be a two-way street, not a revolving door where you're the only one who's always giving. It started with a call from my bank. They flagged unusual activity, large withdrawals from my savings account. Money I'd been setting aside for years for surgery I needed after an old injury flared up. I called my mom in a panic. "Oh, sweetheart, don't get so worked up. We just needed a little help," she said breezily. "Wait, you took my money?" Without asking, my voice cracked. "Danny, don't be so dramatic," my dad chimed in. "Family helps family. You've got a good job, and your sister needed the down payment for her new house. It's not like you were using it right now." I stared at the floor, heart racing. "You stole from me," I said quietly. "We didn't steal," my sister snapped over the phone. "You've always been the responsible one. What's a little redistribution? You'll make it back, Danny." Her words hit like a slap. I checked my accounts. Thousands gone. And worse, a loan in my name that I never authorized. They'd co-signed it as a favor. Using my info, they left me drowning in debt. Without a second thought, I sat at my kitchen table, the bank statement crumpled in my shaking hands. It wasn't just numbers on a page. It was years of sacrifice, of skipped vacations, of quiet meals alone while I sent money home. And it was gone. My chest tightened. Breath shallow, like I'd been punched. I replayed the conversations, the thank yous that never felt quite sincere, the promises they'd pay me back, the way they'd laugh when I tried to set boundaries. My sister's voice echoed in my head. "You'll make it back, Danny." No, no, I wouldn't. A cold, sharp clarity sliced through the shock. They'd used me, lied to my face, and they didn't care. I looked around my apartment, the unpaid bills, the half-packed boxes from when I thought I'd move into a better place, my plans, my future, trashed because I believed family meant loyalty. Something cracked inside me. I wouldn't be their doormat anymore. I opened my laptop, heart pounding. It was time to gather evidence, call the lawyer, and fight for my life back. They'd crossed a line, and I was done letting them write the rules. I was going to make them see what they'd done, and this time, I wasn't backing down. I dove into it like a man possessed. My hands trembled as I pulled old bank statements from the dusty file cabinet in the corner, my laptop glowing in the dim kitchen light. Transaction after transaction stared back at me, cold and damning. Thousands funneled into accounts I'd never authorized. I called the bank, my voice steady but clipped, and requested a full account history. Then came the texts, the casual requests. "Danny, could you cover this month's car payment? It's just a one-time thing." The guilt trips. "Danny, don't you care about your family?" The outright lies. "Don't worry, we'll pay you back next week." I took screenshots of everything. Every promise they never intended to keep. Every call they ignored when I asked for help. My heart was racing, my breath shallow. but I kept going. That's when I called Mike, an old friend from college who now worked as a financial advisor. I told him everything. He didn't even let me finish. Dan, this is fraud, he said flatly. You need a lawyer. Now, he introduced me to Linda, a no-nonsense attorney who didn't blink when I showed her the files. She leaned back in her chair, arms crossed, and said, "They think they can get away with this because you've been quiet. We're about to change that." Even my grandmother, who always stayed out of the family drama, handed me a faded envelope one evening. Inside were handwritten notes, my sister's, my dad's, even a few from my mom, all thanking her for the extra help Danny gave us, a paper trail I never knew existed. This wasn't just about money anymore, it was about the years they stole from me, and I wasn't going to let it go. I called them all to my place, Mom, Dad, my sister. My hands were steady, my voice calm, but inside, I was a storm. They shuffled in, wearing forced smiles, like we were here for a family dinner. I didn't offer coffee. "Sit down," I said, and something in my tone made even my dad pause. I laid the files on the table. Bank statements, texts, the envelope from Grandma, the proof. My sister's eyes darted, her voice sharp. "Danny, this is crazy. Why are you doing this?" My mom's smile flickered. "Sweetheart, we're family. Don't make a scene." I stood tall, voice steady as steel. "Family? You stole from me, lied to me, drained my savings like it was yours to spend. You left me drowning in debt while you threw parties and bought new cars." Dad's face reddened, voice gruff. "You're overreacting. It's just money." "No, it's my life," I cut in, voice rising but controlled. "You've taken enough. I'm not your ATM. I'm not your safety net. And I'm done pretending this is okay." My sister tried again, her voice shaking. "We needed help, and I helped. For years." I snapped, slamming my hand on the table. They flinched. "But you crossed a line. This ends now." For a moment, no one spoke. My mom's lip quivered, and Dad stared at the floor. My sister's eyes welled with tears, but I didn't feel sorry for her. I looked at each of them, letting the weight of it sink in. "You're going to pay me back, every dollar, and if you don't, my lawyer will see you in court." Your choice. Silence, and for the first time, I saw it, the fear in their eyes, not because they cared about me, but because they realized they couldn't control me anymore. After that meeting, the house of cards started to collapse, and I didn't lift a finger. My sister's job? Gone within weeks. Turns out her boss didn't appreciate being dragged into a lawsuit when my lawyer sent that subpoena for her fraudulent bank activity, her fancy car, repossessed, the mortgage she used my money for, foreclosed. My dad, who always played the "I'm just trying to keep the family together" card, had his reputation shredded when my lawyer uncovered that loan in my name. His buddies at the golf club? They stopped returning his calls. He showed up at a community event once, tried to act like nothing happened, but the whispers followed him like a shadow. Mom tried to smooth things over at first, posting family photos online with long captions about forgiveness and second chances, but people knew. The truth had a way of seeping out, and soon the comments under her posts turned cold. "Hope you're proud of stealing from your own son." I watched from a distance, detached. It wasn't that I wanted revenge, exactly, but there was something deeply satisfying about seeing the scales finally balance. I didn't answer their calls when they tried to reach out. "Can't we just talk?" "It's not what you think." I didn't respond to the texts begging for help. When they showed up at my door, I didn't open it. They made their choices, and for the first time in my life, I let them deal with the consequences on their own. With the dust settled, I finally felt free. I moved out of the cramped apartment I'd called home for too long, signed a lease on a place that was mine alone, in a neighborhood I actually liked, a clean slate. I landed a promotion at work. Turns out, when you're not drained by family chaos, you've got energy to build something for yourself. I started mentoring new hires, something I'd always wanted to do but never had time for. My boss noticed, and soon I was leading projects, shaping the future instead of just surviving the present. Outside of work, I found space for things that mattered to me. I joined a woodworking class, something I'd dreamed about for years. The smell of sawdust and the satisfaction of crafting something with my own hands, not for anyone else, just for me, felt like therapy. I even started dating again, slowly, carefully, but this time, with clear boundaries. No more rescuing, no more taking on someone else's problems as my own. I was learning to say no without guilt. "No, I won't lend you money." "No, I'm not available to fix your mistakes." "No, I'm not responsible for your happiness." I was done living like my needs were optional. For the first time in my life, I wasn't someone's crutch or safety net. I was me. Whole, standing on my own 2 feet, and finally free. Looking back, I see it clearly now. Family isn't about blood. It's about respect. It's about choosing each other every day, not using each other when it's convenient. I learned that trust, once broken, doesn't heal with a hug and an apology. It takes action. And sometimes, you have to walk away. They taught me that you can love people and still say no, that you can care and still protect your peace. I'm not angry anymore, just wiser. I've learned to put myself first, not in a selfish way, but in a necessary way. I'm not a bank for their mistakes. I'm not their safety net. I'm not their crutch. I'm a man who chooses himself.